Hello again. Thought we'd walk up Barnpark today just to make a change. Why not? Now, regular viewers will probably hear me say a few things that I've said before, but as not everyone's watched every video, and there's a lot of new viewers too. So I'm filming my old friend's house, Jeff Plan's house. Back when I was a kid, he used to come down there, play on his Dragon 32 computer, or his dad's, I should say. Yes. Hambledon House, I remember that before all the flats and everything. That used to be a private house. Then it became a nursing home for many years. Then it went back to being a private house again. What a location. And on my left, coming up on the Highland Holiday Apartments, which I know for a fact a lot of you stay in. And when I was younger, that used to be private flats. And there was a girl who used to live in that one. I used to know her. But there we go, that's all new at the back. I know a few of you are still due to come down, I've heard in the comments. Lovely. See how at the end there was all the trees covering the road? All these used to be very similar to that back in the day. Used to be a lot of trees in these gardens, but they've all gone now. Good morning, by the way. Good thing I didn't wear a fleece. Could be a bit hot. Lovely. Obviously it's bin day up here today by the looks of things. There we go. Could have chosen a better day, of course. Here we go. That's the Woodland B&B there. Used to be an archway over the door when I was younger. That's gone now. Barnpark Terrace up there, the flats. And a little cottage there. Used to know the boy that lived there, vaguely. Wasn't really a close friend or anything, but I sort of knew him, not in terms. He went on to be a doctor, so I've been told. Lovely. Barnsley Drive over there. Down the bottom is where my mate Dominic used to live. Dominic Bland. Now, he was a proper friend. Spent a lot of time hanging around with him. He became an architect, I think he's in London. That house there. Those two houses actually used to be police houses, meaning that if you worked for the police, you were offered accommodation in one of those houses. And one of my friends, James Smith, used to live there when I was very, very, very young. And just there on that piece of grass, there used to be two outside toilets. I remember right up the top here, Gorway, which as you can see is a nice little residential area. Goes through, goes out onto, backs onto Dawlish Road. Yeah, it's just normal houses and that. Of course, it hasn't always been like that. Back in the day, it used to be the Gorway estate. And big house there, Gorway Mansions, which I've been trying to find a picture of, but I've been unable to. That said, that will come into play again in a minute when we get to the next place, next port of call on my list. Top end of Barnpark Terrace. Plenty of places for sale or let. Lovely. Another little small houses going off down the side there from Woodway Road. And this Woodway Road goes all the way up from, basically it starts down by the Eastcliff Hotel, just past the car park where we normally start the walks. And it goes all the way up until you're out to Teignmouth and in the country. All the way through. Lovely. Right, this is where we were heading. Gorway Cottage. I believe it used to be part, not Gorway, Woodway Cottage, sorry. Used to be part of the Gorway estate. And it's a big thatched cottage. Just show you a little bit of it there. And oh, so much to tell you about this. So much to tell you about this place. I can't even just do a voiceover on a couple of pictures. It won't do it justice. But I'll do a voiceover on a couple of pictures. So as I said, this is the earliest drawing of Woodway House, 1825 when it was built. It was owned by Captain Spratt, who was a very big player in Teignmouth, in naval terms, etc. He was also involved with Brunel, did a lot of the stuff to do with the estuary and that. That picture of it there, that's the earliest picture of it. That one there's just after the war. Somehow the gates survived, they say. And the next one is the 1960s. But honestly, read the Wikipedia article. It's got all the details, stories about the ghosts, everything. And all to do with Brunel. It's really, really interesting. Link below. So I hope you found that interesting anyway. Do read the Wikipedia article. it goes into so much more detail than I can. But there we go. Right, let's crack on up. Lovely big houses set back from the road like that. Private ones as well, as opposed to flats or nursing homes. As we carry on walking, the clouds are beginning to form above me, but no liquid sunshine as yet, so we'll say that's a bonus. Churchill Drive, leading to Winston Court and Grove Court off to the side there. That bench, or one very like it, if not actually that bench, been here all my life. And the width here is the narrowest part of the road, which is the original width of most of it. But you can see up here how it's all been expanded out over the years. There we are. Bit wider, smashing. There go the bin men. Down to empty all those bins. Lovely. So I do where we are. Right ahead of us there, we can zoom right in. There we go. There's that block of flats, Dunmore in Sholden, that I was filming when I last had the drone out. Well, that building up ahead certainly made itself at home on the landscape. Back in my day, the gates up there used to be where you went in, and there was a normal sort of large house called Neilston, which had been there since year one, so to speak, and it was a retirement home. And the reason I used to visit was my gran was in there for many, many years. So what I'm going to do, get up the top, line up the picture of when it was Neilston, looking back from the other side. Why not? Here we go. Here's how it used to look as Neilston. That brings me back many, many happy memories of my gran, where I used to go and visit her, and she lived to a ripe old age. 96 or 98, can't remember exactly, but it was she certainly thrived in there anyway. All good. Right, let's crack on. Okay, so we're carrying along what's called New Road now. As you can see from the buildings around me, they're all very similar to the ones in Woodway, but they didn't go that far back in the day. They kind of stopped a bit further up, but you'll see where that is, because that's where they've built all the new builds on what was the green belt. Done a bit of work done on his driveway, and why not? Here we go, we're coming to the end of what I call the traditional cottages and that, like there, and getting more into the realms of the new build that I was telling you about. That's interesting. There's a mirror over there, but it's not like a concave one for cars, it's more like one you have in your bedroom. It's interesting. Surprised that's survived. Yes, here we go. All over the other side of that fence wall, that's all the new builds. And just a bit further along here, to the left, just past these vans, are the new builds on this side. There we go, there's the new builds on this side. So none of this was here. Stems right up, right across. Smashing. Right, let's carry on along New Road. That estate over there is called Abbey Mount, because that's where the Abbey is down the end of there. The nun place, the Abbey, so to speak. I say the nun place, don't really sound disrespectful, but that's what we called it when I was younger, but I know for a fact it's flats now. So I've seen them for sale. And here we go. I can sort of see Dawlish Road down there at the end. Got some more bin people up here doing these ones. And of course, back in the day, this road used to just carry straight on along here. I'm kind of walking down the middle of the road as it would have been. All that bit down there, where it bends round to the right, is to give a better exit from the road there, more visibility, as opposed to the original one, which we'll step back onto now. Here we go, the original road. This is the line it used to take. And of course you had some traditional houses up at this end, because this was where we were getting into the start of Holcombe area sort of thing. And the traditional Dawlish Road, of course, itself. Lovely. Yes, that's where I've come from up there. That's the new builds, with the Abbey hidden in behind it all. Here's the original exit onto Dawlish Road. Just a little bit further down, not a huge difference. Not a huge difference. This is the original exit onto the road. And I think you'll recognise where we are now, because normally if I was doing my up and over the top walk, where I walk up through Mules Park, I'd be coming out just there and then making a point of crossing the road and telling you just down here on my left is where my auntie and uncle used to live back in the day. But right, I've done a lot of talking so far, so I'm gonna shut up for a few minutes now, believe it or not, and have a quiet walk down. I'll start talking to you again probably at Smugglers. Silence. Where's all the traffic gone? Amazing. Oh, spooky this. Makes me want to walk down the middle of the road. Wonder if they've cut near this back now, making it possible to walk down the pavement without having to walk in the road. But it's been cut back a little bit. It's walkable now. Yeah, it's much better now this has been cut back. Last time I walked down here I was getting stinging nettles and brambles hitting my legs. That wasn't very good. It's Holcombe. I haven't forgotten my plans to take the drone up at some point, but I'll do that on a day where I just come over and fly the drone. Otherwise, if I did it today, say, oh, I don't know how long this video would end up being. Holcombe Cross, straight onto Dawlish. We'll turn left for Holcombe Village. I have done a big yomp around in Holcombe with loads of then and nows. I'll put a link to it up the top there if it works. Anyway, let's cross over in a sec. Get into Smugglers Lane, just over there. Well, there we go. That wasn't too difficult, actually. Right. Here we go, getting down towards the bridge now. Lovely. Of course we're down by the Salty Dog, but that won't be open today because it's Tuesday. There we go. There he is. Lovely. Right, I wanted to take the drone up, have a look at the slippage. A little bit on the breezy side. I'll make my decision when I get to where I want to take off from, and I'll check my app on my phone. It tells me the weather conditions for exactly where it is I'm operating the app, so to speak. Well, I'm pretty much here at said slippage, near enough. If I take off, I'll go down onto the beach to take off, but it's not the wind on the beach that matters, it's the wind up here. So I'll do my app check right now and let you know what it says. Here I am down on the beach, because it is telling me that despite the bit of the breeze, it is safe to fly. So we'll take its word for it. Just go and have a closer look at the top of there. Not going to make a meal of it today, just up and down, nice and simple. Train! Lovely. Go, and we're off. Fly up, look at the slippage, or what's left of it. Very nice. And look, there's some little orange men up there at the moment doing some work. They've got a little hut there, have they? Something like that. Anyway, that's them there. Try and zoom in on them a little bit, peer in on what they're doing. Yeah, they're obviously doing something up there. And again, let's just have a look at the lay of the land, look at the houses. And let's look along at the back of the houses and see if anyone else is liable to encounter any slippage. Lady there hanging out a washing on a washing line in the centre. Lovely. And that garden there that's a little bit more overgrown, that's fairly close to the edge, isn't it? But I suppose no closer than the others. Oh, there we go. What a headland. Let's have a quick fly while we're up here. I sped this up a little bit, of course. I was hoping to get some trains coming along, but unfortunately, no such luck. So there's the Parson and the Clark headland anyway. And have a little look round. Tennis court we see at the top there above the tunnel. Lovely. Holcombe in the distance there. And back along the top of the cliffs. There we go. Spray Point and the Ness and the pier. So I'm not going to do return to home where it goes up in the air and comes back automatically. I'm just going to fly it back to me today. Why not? I'm just stood down there on the beach, as you know. There I am. Sped this up again, of course. Hello, waving. Right, and that's it. Coming to land on my hand. Lovely. There we go. Quick little flight, as I said it would be. I was getting a few wind warnings on my controller. Nothing to say like, oh, come on, this is too much, but just like, hey, be careful. Bit windy, so I called it an early one. Mum asked me where I was going this morning. I told her my planned route, which you're pretty much seeing. So, oh, that's way too far. You can't. I said, Mum, this is true, right? If I walked from Team Bean to Salty Dog, back to Spray Point, back to Salty Dog, and then back to Team Bean, that would be longer than the route I've done today. More steps. It's mad, unbelievable, isn't it? But that's how it works out. And of course, there's our little water trickle. Lovely. Now that there is Nigel and his two sons. Who is Nigel, apart from a subscriber? He's the guy that sent me in those Southview pictures. Remember, with all the men on horses? So thank you very much, mate. I thanked him in person there. And yeah, lovely. So be like Nigel and subscribe. Hey, train. He gave a good toot. I just missed it. Shame we missed that. He went do do do. Yeah, shame I didn't get the camera started in time. Never mind. I'll make our way around now. See Rufus. Got him a nice selection of both seeds and mealworms today, so he can take his pick, can't he? Spoilt, Robin. Spoilt. Well, no sign of immediately, and both the feeders are empty. But we'll soon sort that problem out. Tasty. I expect it is if you're a robin. Mealworms and seed. Lovely. No sign today, I'm afraid. Never mind, I'm sure he's here somewhere, quite healthy. Just not immediately next to me today. Right, let's crack on. In fairness, I think he may be a lot further along in the bushes, because when I came around the corner at the other end, I could hear quite a lot of activity in there. But when I got up to where he normally is with the feeders, no activity going on from any birds at all. So he's probably a bit further up along today. I'm sure he'll have a nice surprise when he comes home. Didn't even notice that one was coming. I'm slipping and I haven't even got my podcast going at the moment. So I turned them off when I was talking to Nigel. Never mind, all good. Might as well put the wind blocker on. Probably hear me saying that just now and think, well, what wind? No noise at all. But to me, it's probably a bit on the windy side now. I'm walking right into it along the wall. There's a nice toot at spray point. Don't know if you caught it over the wind blocker, but I definitely heard it. Happy train. Smashing. Well, there we go. That was the end of the seawall portion of my wander. I'm pretty much coming on to the end of the walk. And with that, walk comes to an end. I won't string it out, so I love you and leave you. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Lovely walk today, been out for about 2 hours. Nice to meet Nigel as well. Anyway, back home now. Bit of a funny one tomorrow as I've got some stuff I've got to do, so we'll play that by ear, but it won't be a normal walk. Right, take care, bye.